Come in. Yep, love it. Okay, feeling better. This is the things that boys don't notice.
1, and...
Boys are the worst. This is my list of complaints about boys.
What is your number?
So unobservant. That is the one thing that I noticed with like boys podcasts. I'm like, there's like a smudge on your camera lens that you couldn't even wipe off before you started. And I'm like, hey, can we center this a bit more? And you're like, I see nothing.
The reason
you'll always have your mug like
wrong,
front and
wrong,
center.
Wrong.
You didn't today, but the first 3 you did.
I didn't today because, and I didn't even before.
It's literally right now.
Yeah. And I'm trying to tell you why, because you just moved the table where we had the table before.
That's funny that I'm setting you up for failure. I'm like, why do you have your glass there? And you're like,
it was perfectly set up.
Like, all I
out
see
of frame,
is
and then
like
you pulled the table forward, and you're like,
yeah.
Man, always leaving glass in the frame.
Yeah, but then other times when your old podcast, I'd tune in. And I'd be like, the tablecloth is covering half the table, and there's like crumbs all over it. Could you not just like straighten it and give it a brush before you started? You're like, yeah, I didn't think of it.
Yeah, no. I think overall I'm more observant than you, but when it comes to like cleaning tables, I think you got me.
Fuck you. When it comes to getting stains out of laundry and finding those crumbs to sweep up off the floor. Hannah, you got me beat.
You got me beat. There's something in your DNA that
there
just
is,
makes
though.
That makes
no,
you
I don't think you're more observant than I am, but I think you have a better observational humor than I do. I think you have a much better way of making jokes about your observations, but I think in general females are so much more observant than males. One time I said something like, I just made a joke about women being more observant than men. Oh, I remember what it was. I was like, men, whatever. I just made a joke about women being more observant than men. They're like, oh, that's sexist. I'm like, fuck you. It's evolution. Like, now we can't even like say evolutionary facts. Is it bad?
Now we can't even say yeah. I agree.
But I do.
Women, they can't say, like, can't shoot from the hip anymore. They used to be able to just say whatever they want, and now they have to be so careful about what they say.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like making an observation about men versus women, because like gender doesn't even exist anymore. Like, this is like old jobs that I've had. Like I said once, I'm like, my ex is a poker player, and I'm like, oh, men are better at playing poker than women, and everyone almost like lost their minds. They're like. Like, they were so upset that I said that. And I was like, no, they are. Like, they're risk takers. That's literally evolution. But we can't say that anymore. Like, we have to just ignore that evolution happened. Yeah. And that, like, men at one point did have to hunt. And, like, if you didn't take a risk, then your whole tribe died. And now we can't say that anymore. And I'm like, so that's still in our DNA, and it makes you better poker players. And they're like, I don't really believe in men or women, so I don't know why you would say that they were better poker players.
I am curious. Like, okay, so yeah, sports, obviously guys are usually better because of just like genetics.
Because
whatever.
You're better
Better athletes. Poker because of the risk.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what is a game that favors women? I'm just curious. Sorry?
The grocery store sweep. When they had to fill their carts with food in a certain amount of time because they're trying to feed their families.
You know what? I'm very good at Monopoly, but I've always lost at the game of life.
To women? I think I'm pretty good at the game of life because you're like playing against yourself.
I mean the actual board game.
I know.
You don't play it against yourself.
Well, kind of. You're not like Monopoly is so much more like you're like destroying the other person, but you don't really do that in life, do you?
In life, you don't destroy the other person.
Are we still talking about the board game?
In the game of life, do I destroy other people? No. But do you? That is something that women are better at. So maybe the game of life, women are better at. No, because they don't destroy it. That's Monopoly. Game of life, no matter what I choose, go to school, start a career.
It always craps
I always
out on
lose.
Yeah, that is funny.
And it was
That's so funny.
Yeah, man.
I feel like I do really poorly at the game of life, too. And here we are in my 300 square foot apartment that I pay $6,000 for. So who's laughing now? Life is. For sure life is.
But no, on a serious note, what game would favor women and their strengths? Because in my opinion, women have a lot of strengths. I don't know about you.
I think we're good at like Trivial Pursuit because we're like know-it-alls. So that's good. We're usually better at that.
Yeah. Scrabble? You guys good at spelling?
I'm not good at spelling. I never. Really
I don't know. I seen Aquila and the B, and I just thought, is this a women's sport?
I think we're pretty good at like charades.
Yeah. Women and their charades. They're always fucking running charades on me. I'm like, 3 words. Suck my dick, and they don't get it.
You just like. They're like, I don't know, basketball.
I'm like,
like eating a popsicle. What?
Can you do that? Can you make sounds in charades?
No. Literally the whole point. No, you have to do it without the sound. So do it without the sound. Choking on a popsicle. Yeah, definitely. Oh, well, if I had really enjoying a popsicle. Oh my God, enjoying the fuck out of a popsicle. Like, no. Yeah, I guess maybe we're just shit at games.
Did you ever Google how to
suck a dick?
Yeah.
I don't think I Googled it because we had a family computer and my parents were like,
I thought you were going to say you had a family friend that
I don't think I Googled it because
we had a family friend that came over
to me when I was pretty young. We had a family doctor that showed me how to do everything, so.
So your family computer, you never looked up anything bad on your family computer. That's scary, right? Remember LimeWire or whatever? Like, yeah. Okay, so I downloaded porn on my computer and it definitely got caught. Yeah,
you downloaded it through LimeWire. That already is porn. You're like, I'd like some more porn in my porn, please.
I was like, I thought it was a song, and it's like, this says big booty hoes sucking on penises. What song is that? And I'm like,
what was like your first porn search? Was it sex? That's like everyone's first porn search. It's just like sex.
Oh, I can't remember.
It is funny.
I think Brazilian cock lover, maybe. Check it out. It's a good one.
That was your first? That's what you came up with when you were like 8 years old?
No, I wasn't. I was late to the party on porn. So I think my other friends had like seen porn and everything. Because I didn't get internet in my house until I was like in grade 12.
That's insane. How?
I don't know, but I remember when I came, we went.
How did you make it through high school? You're 1 year older than me.
Library,
Windows XP was already out when I got into grade 9. So like, I don't understand.
Yeah. No, I think maybe max grade 11. I mean, yeah, at least grade 11 or maybe grade 12. I remember we went to my grandparents for.
So that was like 2004 that you got internet?
Yeah. I remember remember MSN?
Yeah.
So I used to have to go to my buddy's house across the street and I was just on MSN for like 2 hours, like at his house.
Allow you internet? Because they're Catholic?
I don't think so. I think it was more like my mom's just very frugal.
That's so annoying. My parents are like that too. I mean, I do think it makes us like better comedians because you're like, thanks for the struggle, I guess. Like, thanks for like giving me a personality because you denied me all worldly pleasures. But like at the same time, I like look back and I'm like, I couldn't have had one Pokemon card, like, or something, I couldn't have watched one episode of Barbie or something. Like, I was denied a lot.
I did get toys, but I never got like my parents didn't want me playing video games until like like my I remember my neighbor across the street, still my best friend to this day, like he had like Nintendo, Sega, everything. And then finally, like when I was in grade 7, I got Sony. That was and it was a big deal. I was so excited about it. Yeah,
I think that like a lot of funnier people though were like brought up, let's say, maybe, I don't know, maybe that's not true, but in my head I'm like, the struggle kind of makes you funny, but if you're denied a lot of, because if you're just given all these TV and like video games, I think it does like numb your brain a bit as a child. Like you're not as creative.
Exactly. So. I was creating in my room. I created. I would have like full on like big storylines going on with
the
my
stuffed
toys.
Animals. Same.
With, like,
my God.
My little my wrestlers
a full
and stuff.
Day. Yeah.
And I was like, I remember sometimes I would like sit and think to myself like, you should make movies. This is a great story. Right now.
Yeah. I'd have like this. I'd have like love triangles and like the circus would be in town. They'd all be employed and like my stuffed animals were hardworking. Like they weren't lazy. Like they all had like very thought out personalities.
Do you think if your house was Toy Story, would your toys love you, or would they be like, this girl works us way too hard? Like she plays with us too much, actually.
I think they would love me. I mean, I had them like I gave them a life. Like they were married. They like had relationships. They had babies. Like other toys don't even get played with. Mine were like full on. They were experiencing things.
Mine was more like an action movie. So like
that's great. I bet
arms
they had
got cut off.
Mine were cute, cuddly stuffed animals though. They don't want to be living in war. They're like, oh my god. If they visited your house, they'd be like, what the? My little penguin's like, oh my god. He's like,
yeah.
He's like, bring me. I want to sell ice cream again.
I had when I was like in grade 4, my uncle, or maybe grade 3, like 8 or 9, whatever. My uncle made me a wrestling ring.
Nice.
That when I got older, you could cut off the post and turn it into a desk. So it was like, wait, like you know what I mean. So do you understand what I mean?
So it was quite big.
It was big.
Oh wow!
So I could get a lot of like
of action. Were you doing like little baby fights when you were little? Like you and your toddler buddies would fight each other in this ring?
Like the size of a desk, like a school desk. But I had the ring, so I would get my action fingers in there, make them fight each other. It was a lot of fun. But one day, I got a terrible report card, and I was only in grade 5. I wasn't done playing with my toys. I was 10 years old. I was still like pretty into it. And I went to the bathroom. It was like that quick. I get back in my room. My dad's sawing off the fucking posts of the wrestling ring. And I was fucking crying. I was so sad. And he's like, you need to use this as a desk now.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
and like you grew up to be a retard anyways. So like.
There ain't no desk that's going to help me learn.
Yeah. Like just let him play, man.
Oh, I was so sad. Even my mom was like, she's like, that was a bit much. But my dad's like, no, fuck that. He needs to use his desk.
He needs to use this as a desk now.
It was so traumatic. Man.
And did you use it as a desk?
I mean, I'm sure I did, but it wasn't like I was getting.
Yeah, you weren't like.
It's not like I like.
Now you're.
And from
I'm
that
an
point
A+
on,
student. Yeah, what a dumb thing.
I was straight A's after that.
Yeah, I don't. That's so dumb. Like punishing kids for bad grades. Like no one's ever like. And then I became a great student. Like unless it's like Asians, in which case they like deny you love. That's different. Mm-hmm. They're just like, it's like from the time you're born. But yeah.
Yep.
White people are so bad at getting their kids to be smart.
Yeah, white people are so bad at discipline. It's like, let me just hit
Oh
him.
my God. I know, and now they're making spanking illegal too. So, which I'm sure no ethnic parent is gonna follow. But they're not like, oh, it's illegal. Parents, okay.
From what I know with my friends, I don't think they got spanked as much as they just got hit.
Yeah, they got hit.
Like my dad was like on the like hand on ass.
Yeah, I got spanked. I got spanked. Fiercely,
but I've preferred it.
But then getting what hit? Like
then getting getting yelled at.
Oh,
I was actually so scared when my mom would yell at me, and she'd be like, "Wait until your dad gets home. He's gonna spank you or whatever. He's gonna hit you," and I'd be like, "I can't wait," because then it's like almost over. Like you just like whatever 10 spanks in the ass, and then I'm like, yeah,
10 spanks on the ass. I'm sure that's how he called it.
1,
yeah,
2. The whole family's counting it out with them.
Yeah, yeah. Like there's a ref.
Yeah, 1 more.
You're in the wrestling ring. All right, James, head over to the ring.
Man.
But
my mom was scary when she yelled. Like, out of your parents, for who you got in trouble with, who are you more afraid of?
My dad for sure, but my mom like never punished us. Like she punished us for sure, but never with like anger. It was always with like
passive aggressiveness.
No, which is discipline. She's like, if you do this, then the result will be you lose this or whatever. And then we'd do it, and she'd be like, okay, I'm taking the TV away. Like I told you I'd do that, so I'm gonna do it. So she was very like factual in her discipline.
Did you ever get hit by a grandparent?
No.
I did once.
I wasn't around half of them were dead, and I wasn't really around them.
Oh yeah. It's hard to punish you when you're dead.
Yeah.
One time
Go for it, Grandpa.
The one time I remember getting spanked by my grandma. This is a real spank heavy episode, but I
so funny.
For some reason I just got up in the living room and I just pissed in the corner instead of like going to the bathroom. And
how old were you?
It's probably like, honestly, I don't want to put a number on it, but I'm gonna guess 6. Old enough to know that better. Young enough to not give a fuck. It was obviously I learned my lesson that day, not to pee in the corner, but
that shouldn't be a lesson that you have to learn. That's insane. That's insane. I would just been like, oh, okay, I guess we're putting James up for adoption.
Would you actually?
That's so crazy to piss in a corner. To just piss in a corner.
Yeah, on the carpet.
On the carpet. Yeah, I wouldn't even hit you. I'd just be like, I guess I have a retarded son.
Maybe I was younger. I don't know.
I hope
What age?
so.
What age would be appropriate to pee in corners? 3?
Yeah, like if you're just out of diapers, but like still, you should know.
I think I was a little past that though. I must have been 4 or 5 at least.
Like,
I think I was old enough to know better because I remember it was like my grandma was like, "You're fucked." Like, are you?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm disgusted that you told me this. You just pissed in a corner because you're like, oh,
it was a long time ago.
Still, that's in you, you know?
It is in me because I remember when I was in university, like I remember I had a dorm room and I had a balcony.
You piss in bottles. You piss off the balcony.
Piss off the balcony. And my bathroom was across the hall.
But this is every guy I know.
Yeah.
They're like, if they can take a shortcut when it comes to peeing, they do. And it annoys me so much. Like, this is real. I don't know. I don't give a fuck. But my ex and like all of his poker buddies, they just piss in bottles when they're like playing.
Yeah. When as a truck driver, not with this current job I had to, but the one that I used to, that's like, I got paid by the delivery, not by the hour. So like every minute counted.
Yeah.
I would have like the extra wide mouth.
That's literally them, right?
extra wide mouth Gatorade bottle ready to go. Put my dick inside.
They had a
pee
piss
in it.
bucket.
Now most of the time, that's gross too. Most of the time,
like moldy.
I wouldn't pee enough to fill up the bottle. But one time I had to piss so bad that I fucking filled up the bottle, and I'm like fuck. Now it started coming. Yeah, and I ended up getting some piss on myself.
That's good for you.
I was like, how's this piss still coming out?
Yeah.
That's 591 milliliters of piss.
That stuff grosses me out.
That's a good name for the episode. 591 milliliters of piss.
And how many pees was that?
1. It was 1 piss. I didn't just hold on to fucking full piss bottles and do seconds in there. If I needed to, I could have just dumped it out. It was 1 piss. I was shocked that I was still peeing in there.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's go on. New year, new me.
No more pissing in corners.
No more pissing in corners. Will I piss off a balcony? Hey.
Yeah,
it's
like
tempting.
that stuff. Like I had an ex once that we would like hang out in my basement and he'd be like, "Can I piss?" The laundry sinks were down there and he's like, "Can I just piss in this instead of going?" He had to piss all the time. He's like, "I just pee in this instead of going upstairs to the washroom." I'm like, "Sure."
Really?
But you don't wash clothes in there. It's just where the fluid comes out of the washing machine.
Okay.
So then it's essentially just pissing in a sink that like doesn't get used that much. So I'm like, you can, but you like have to like rinse the sink after every time. He's like, okay, but he's so excited.
Yeah, because he didn't want to cross paths with your parents every fucking 5 seconds, I guess, right?
No, they would have been in bed. He just didn't want to walk upstairs. He didn't want to walk up 1 flight of stairs. But this is every guy. Anytime they're like, "Can I just piss here?" Yeah. And it's like 2 steps closer. You're like, okay, and they're like,
because it's 1 step closer to the edge, and I'm about to piss.
That's what you would sing when you were pissing off your balcony.
Oh my God, loved it. And the girl that lived below me didn't love it. What up, Fiona? Hope you're doing well. When I was in university, this girl, she never found out that I pissed on her window. But what she did find out, one day, I was having a hot box in my dorm room, as a college student does. It was getting late. She comes up and she says, "Do you think you guys can quiet down? I got school tomorrow." And I said, "Honestly, I don't think it's going to happen tonight." Like, I was pretty good neighbor normally, other than pissing on her window.
Okay.
But this day, like, it was just, we were having too much fun up there. Like, it was a little after party. People were having fun. I'm like, I'm sorry, but I don't think it's going to happen tonight. My bad. Anyways, she goes downstairs. Hour goes by. Everyone leaves except for one guy. And he's like sitting on my mini fridge, and he's like, "Dude, I'm fucked." And I don't know why, but it made me laugh so hard. I'm like, I couldn't stop laughing. I'm like, yo, I laughed so hard that I needed to puke. Go out, puke outside my window, puke all over her window. And yeah, so that, my bad on that one. But you know what? You
actually sound like a terrible
good news
neighbor.
Is I was able to wash all that puke off with
puking on her window.
The good news is I was able
having people over for a hot box.
Yeah.
You're like, I was a really great neighbor. And you've only said things that are terrible.
No, like normally if she said quiet down, I'd be like, of course, no problem.
So the fact that she even had to ask multiple times, God, what a nightmare. How many times did she have to ask you guys to quiet down? Because you weren't really caring about school. You just wanted to have a dorm room to invite your friends over to.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't even know why I went to university for 2 years.
Yeah, for 2 whole years is crazy.
Legit. Okay,
you passed the first year though.
So this is what happened. So I had no business getting into university, but in grade 12 I had a girlfriend that was like really smart and helped me with all the stuff.
Where is she now?
Went to University of Guelph, and she wanted me to go there too. So then she really helped me get in. And then I got there, and I'm like, I'm not good at school. Like, are you gonna help me with this stuff? And we broke up like pretty quick into university because I was like, now I have a dorm room, and I just want to be a little
wow,
good time boy.
Wow, can you stop?
And that's the thing. She said, "Can you stop fucking other girls?" And I'm like, I don't think I can. No, because I just started.
I just started.
No,
I just started fucking other girls.
I lost my virginity to her, so yeah, it was new. It was new and exciting.
Wow.
And I didn't get a lot of pussies, but it was fun, you know.
Yeah.
The ones that I did. And I just wanted to treat every girl with respect, so I just told her we can't.
I mean, yeah, fair enough. Instead of like cheating on her, like I'm sure, like there's tons of guys that went to university with their partner and just cheated on them. So
yeah,
it's better to break up.
Yeah, and then
where is she now? How's she doing?
And then you know what? She's doing great because that really set her on a good course of direction because she ends up leaving the University of Guelph. She was so upset.
You both left Guelph.
She was so upset by me doing that she ends up leaving the University of Guelph. Watch this.
Oh my
and then finds her true calling and goes to a college course that she likes at George Brown. Ends up becoming a chef. Ends up becoming a chef, and now is like
go to university together.
Like loves her life and is doing great.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So have you ever messaged her? You're welcome.
For all that, yeah. No. The thing about me is I never really leave people on like terrible terms. So like we kept in touch for a little bit after, and yeah, man. God bless. She's doing great. She has kids now.
Yeah, that's great. Good for her. That's crazy that she got so upset she left university. Her parents.
Yeah, she got me into university.
What are you doing?
She got me into university and then left me there.
After you broke up with her to fuck other people.
Yeah.
A lot of the stories you tell me, I'm like, James is kind of a piece of shit.
I was. I'm not anymore. The thing is, I was. I was like, wow. Like, and this is there was like so my early 20s. I didn't treat women the best. I was always honest with them. I was always like, no, I was. Okay. I wasn't a cheater. I'm talking about my early 20s. But one year on what was it? On New Year's Eve. No, first of all, Christmas Day. My friend that I always get together with, you've met him. His girlfriend at the time was like, yeah, you treat women not nice. You need to change. Then on New Year's Eve that same year, 5 days later.
You were visited by...
I was visited by...
a ghost.
my horrors of Christmas past, yeah.
Wow, you've really changed.
And no, because then another girl that I had been on and off fucking for like a year and a half or whatever, she was like, you know, you're not very nice to me. And I was like, so why do you keep sucking my dick?
All it was 2 people at Christmas to tell you you're not very nice.
One at New Year's Eve. So I made my New Year's resolution to be nicer to girls.
Really?
Swear to God. And then I had the worst year of my life. And I'm like, being nice sucks. But then I never stopped. I'm still nice to girls. Because I'm like, because I am a guy that feels guilt. It's really like...
Yeah.
Like Irish Catholic guilt, I don't know if it's touched by anything else. Like it's a heavy guilt.
It's a burden. Something.
It's touched by something. They get up in there. Yeah. So being nice sucks, but being mean.
But I just can't quit.
I can't quit. Once you pop, you just can't stop. Try being nice. I mean, like it's
Once you make being nice a habit, you just can't stop. Yeah, you are genuinely very nice, very generous. You have a lot of good qualities that I think most people don't possess. Yeah. So
I got guilted into it.
I know. And like there are parts of your life where you're like, you know, filling up Gatorade bottles with piss so much so that it splashes back on you that I'm like, that sucks. But hey. Take the good with the bad.
Can we talk about a blessing? Can we talk about a blessing?
Is it fantasy football?
Yes.
It is insane to me how favored you are by God. I was dying laughing as the texts were coming in, as you were experiencing the final game of fantasy football.
Yes. So it was not looking good for me. All the games were done on Sunday night, and there was a Monday night game left, but I had 0 players in it. The guy I was facing had 3 players in it, and I was only up by 20 points.
So normally, if everything had like happened how it normally would have, how much do you think he would have beat you by? If it was like a reasonable game?
He was projected to beat me by like 17 points.
Got it.
And anyways, that no one cares about that. What people do care about.
They just need to know the stakes.
Stakes.
They need to know like how much, like what you got away with.
Yeah, and even leading up to it, I had like
multiple times leading up to it, like on different days, you were like, I don't even know what fantasy football is, and you were like pulling it out. You're like, look, Hannah, look at this. Look how bad this is gonna be.
Yeah.
You were like showing it to me. I'm like, okay, like that sucks. It sucks that you're gonna lose every league you were in this year.
Pretty much, like my starting quarterback gone, starting running back gone, other running back gone. I was losing everybody. Yeah. Now who gives a fuck? You guys don't care.
I certainly don't.
And that's the thing. No one really cares. But what they do care about is miracles. So Sunday night, I prayed to God. I said, God, if there's any way you can hook this up for me, I'm really gonna need that money. I'm down on my luck. There's
you asked me to pray to God as well.
There's $600
I don't know if
in the
I
pot.
remember to.
I told Hannah the names.
Like, you know what he wants.
I'm like, Hannah, you know, here's a list of people that I need to do bad on Monday night. You tell God.
He asked me. I was like, okay.
So she sent one up too.
I did.
Monday night's here, and I'm like, all right. So basically, like, it's not impossible for me to win, but what I need to have happen is 2 of these guys to have like a horrible game and barely put up any points. So it's the first quarter. One of the guys already throws a touchdown. I'm like, oh my God, he has the quarterback. Mm-hmm. He could probably beat me all by himself if he just has a good game. I'm like, he's off to a good start. This sucks. But halfway through the first quarter, an injury happens, and it's not to one of the guys that I prayed against.
So not your fault. Not your fault.
Not to one of the guys I prayed against, but an injury happens. An injury happens so bad that they stop the game for like an hour. An hour or 2 goes by, and I'm like,
the whole world, everyone was giving a shit. They're like, what the fuck is happening?
I wasn't watching the game. I was just updating on my phone. Mm-hmm. Okay, how's the game not started again? Like I'm really like locked into this score because $600 on the line, and it's postponed. I said postponed. What the hell? So I look into it, and it turned out a guy almost died on the field.
Yeah,
Damar Hamlin. Hey, I'm not going to tell you what happened, but I'll get there. Damar Hamlin, his heart stopped. They had to give him CPR. He was carried out in the stretcher. I said, God, chill. This is not what I asked for. I'm like, I just needed Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase to have a bad...
Like, my boy James is in trouble? You're just throwing down lightning bolts on the field.
I asked for Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase to have a bad game. I did not ask you to kill Damar
ref had a stroke.
Hamlin. I did not ask you to kill him. I was scared. I was like, what did I pray for? The game got postponed. Now, days go by, and nobody knows, are they going to reschedule the game, or are they going to continue the game another day? So everyone in the league's like, yeah, what's going to happen here? Everyone that has any fantasy going on it. And then everyone obviously is like, I hope Damar Hamlin is going to be okay.
Of course. We're not monsters.
So
did we pray for the death of 3 players? Sure, but Damar Hamlin wasn't one of them.
He was not one of them. And we didn't pray for the death of them either.
But if one of those players had been in the hospital, I'd be like, yo, what did you get me into? Yeah. I've been like, is this on my permanent record when I get to heaven? They're like, oh, I see here you prayed for the injury of...
I didn't know. We didn't pray for no injuries. I just prayed for them to have a shit. I prayed for them to have a shit game.
I didn't know what I was praying for. I just said, I've got God. I've got 3 names here, and then I went.
Do what you need to do.
You know what to do.
Anyway, so
any means necessary, and God was like, okay.
The game was on Monday. On Thursday, they announce that the game is canceled. The game is over. Final score. I won. I said, oh my God, thank you. What a miracle. What a miracle. And another miracle happened after 3 days.
You made rent.
After 3 days of being in a coma, an induced a coma, Damar Hamlin woke up. On the same day that they announced that the game is canceled, Damar Hamlin woke up. And you know what he said? Who won the game?
Yeah.
And they told him,
James did.
No, they said you did. You won the game of life. But so did I. And this is crazy because I'm like, I won. I'm so. It was like, and you were like, "Wow, God really."
I
loves
was
you.
laughing so hard because you had no business winning that league. Mm-hmm. That if anything had gone according to how it should have, but hey.
So now there's like one or two guys in my league that are like, here's the problem. Here's the one thing that sucks.
No.
I'm also the commissioner of this league. So now there's like one or two guys in the league that are like calling for impeachment and stuff. But I'm like,
that's so funny.
They're gonna storm the Capitol.
Like, I don't know how you did this. It is January 6th.
Yeah, it's the same day they called for impeachment. Wow, that's crazy. My goodness, I didn't even tie that in. But yeah, no, it's legit. One of the guys in the league is like really upset.
This is the real January 6th.
There's other guys that are in the league that just love like stirring the pot. Because like I talked to them on the side and they're like, no, I don't care. It's just funny to watch everyone attack you. So like there's two guys in the league that are just like, they're like, yeah, no, you should have to put the money back in the pot and everything. Like, but I'm like, yo, shut the fuck up. And I'm like telling them like, I just sent a picture of Kim Jong-un like waving at them and I'm like, this is not a democracy. I'm just keeping the money. I'm getting the championship. Wow. It is what it is. The final score is the final score. I can't do anything about that.
Of course. That is, I mean, I don't know much about sports betting, but that's, they would honor that. Of course.
No. And I would say there's 12 guys in the league and only like 2 of them are seriously upset.
They're seriously upset?
Well, the guy that lost.
How can they? Oh, sure.
And then one other guy that's just
but
like.
That doesn't matter. What? That's act of God.
Yeah.
Sorry, honey, but them's the rules.
That's it. I mean, it's an unprecedented way to win, but these are unprecedented times.
Yeah, exactly. But then for the actual game, they still chose a winner, right? It was the team that was in the lead.
Honestly,
you don't know.
No. I think I do know. I think they just decided the game's canceled.
Okay, but then you still would have won.
Yeah, I still win.
So yeah.
No, either way, it's like. And I was trying to say it to them. I'm like, yeah, if you start a player that gets injured in the first quarter, you still like you can't do anything about it. And they're like, yeah, but that's not what this is. I'm like, yeah, this has never happened before. And so I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to change the rules because it's never happened before.
Because if in the actual league they're like, oh, we're just going to say that nothing happened. So like if your league did that, then you would have still won. So I'm on your side.
Thank you. No,
like what are you supposed to be like? Oh yeah, you would have won if he didn't die.
The thing that sucks is even the people that are on my side in the league that like message me on the side and like,
of course,
I hope that everyone else isn't serious about this because I'm not, and I'm like, no, some of them are, so shut up. Like one of my buddies that was just he loves stirring the pot, like he just all year long, like whenever anything he's like, this league is Bush, this is a Bush league, like he just loves fucking making me in trouble. But anyways, as a comedian, I appreciate the humor, and I'm just like,
for sure,
I'm just like, go for it. I just send them a picture of Kim Jong-il, and I'm just like,
Il or Ung?
The daddy.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
just wanted to make sure you you weren't throwing around the great leader's name incorrectly. So that's cool.
No. It's yeah.
Speaking of athletes,
we have something about athletes.
Yeah. Because I don't know if I told you this when the Clippers were at the hotel I worked at, the unnamed hotel I work at. So we have like all the away teams stay with us, and the Clippers were there, and I met one of them. I helped with a sale. It was a very senior member of their team. That's my very subtle way of telling you who it was.
Like the oldest guy?
Okay, no.
Or the coach?
No.
Oh, I got you.
So I sold him a bunch of shit. And now I get an email today. The team's denying the charges because he charged it to his room. It was $800 worth of product.
What?
Yeah.
That happened today?
Yep. Well, right before I left, I was in such a bad place because I also just assumed he would tell the truth. Like he charged it to his room, and it's under a fake name too. All the rooms are always under fake names. So I didn't make him like open an account with us because I'm like, whatever. He's, I know who he is, and I'm just gonna charge it to the room that he's staying in. And then they're like, "What charge is this?" The team's denying the charges. I'm like, "Excuse me." I'm like, I handled it because my boss was like, Hannah, you know that you have to put this to someone specific. Like you have to make an account for someone and before you sell it to them. I'm like, they're using fake names. So what does it matter? Like I'd be making a fake account. Like I'd be, it doesn't make any sense.
Wow. Like, this is a good racket that he has going. He probably does this all the time.
Right. So now that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, wow, they just go to any fucking hotel, rack up $800, $1,000 worth of product and then go, yeah, that wasn't us.
Can I tell you something?
What?
He's a bad boy. He's actually a bad
boy.
I won't. Okay, I'm not gonna say the name, but I'll just say, him and his twin brother have been troubled since college. They've been in and out of trouble.
That pisses me off so much.
Like out of like, because there's that
taking
like
advantage of
he's
my
one
kindness.
Out of everyone on the roster. I'll just say he's probably the least surprised guy that people would be about getting into trouble.
Well, also he probably wasn't even supposed to be charging $800 worth of product to the team room. Because that's why the team's probably like, what the fuck is this? No, we didn't spend $800 at the spa.
God.
And he's just charging it
Scandalous.
to them. Yeah. So now it's on me because they're like...
Was he nice to you?
Yeah, I mean, he was nice enough. I was making recommendations. He's like, yeah, okay. And the whole time he's like, yeah, I'll take all this for free.
He played you like a fiddle.
Yeah. Well, I mean... Sure.
He's like, it's Canada. Who gives a fuck? We only come here once a year.
It's fake money.
They only come once a year.
He's like, 800 Canadian. Yeah. Okay, he tosses me an American quarter.
Right? That's probably what he thought too.
So yeah, he didn't. They didn't pay. They didn't sign it. And then now they're all like, this was never signed off on. Like, who even was this person? And I'm like, it was a very senior member of the team. This is the name. Like, I dealt with it. But now I almost want to be like, check the fucking cameras.
Yeah. Why don't you?
Because I don't think, because finance is such fucking nerds. They'll be like, that won't hold up in court or something. Like, they need a signature. And I'm like, I don't know. And so now I'm contacting them and being like, I'm literally like, check the receipts, because I think I got him to, but even then I'm like, did I make him sign for this? Or did I just put it through to the room?
Scandalous.
I know. I'm so angry. I'm like, what a piece of shit. But also, if you're famous, like, this has happened to me at every hotel I've worked at. Like, a famous person has like fucked me over like massively. And I'm like, you get that this is my livelihood, you absolute fuck. Like, I know you have $1 billion and it like means nothing to you to be like, oh, oops, you lost your job. That sucks. I'm like, no. Now I can't pay rent or eat. So that's great.
So why don't you want to name his name?
I don't want...
Because it'll be in trouble at work?
I don't want my hotel to have it. A slander, whatever. I don't need anything.
Because, I mean, it would be a spicy title name.
Yeah, no.
Blank robbed you?
I still work there. But I'm sure people can figure it out if they really want to.
He's leading the league in stealing.
Yeah! Hey! Stop naming things. That's the only way you get in trouble, is if you say the name. Because we have deniability.
Okay. He's leading the league in steals. From hotels. Hey, buddy.
Stop being a piece of shit.
Yeah. Well, I hope you get the rebound.
I hope so. I was like so stressed, and everyone was like, Hannah, don't stress out. And I'm like, I'm obviously going to get fucking in trouble for this. Like, my man, because I really didn't like follow protocol. And but then I'm also like, what is protocol? Like, do I have to... like, if he's using a fake name, I'm like, do I now have to make a fake account? And like, I'm like, or we just have to force these black men to pay for things while they're there.
That's crazy, I know.
Well, I'm not saying, but you know, it wasn't. They actually did have I did see a white they have a white guy on the team.
Yeah, there's some bad boys that are white too in the league.
I'm not saying they were bad because they're black. I'm just saying everyone on the team was black.
Everyone on the team is black, and there's one bad boy. like, straight up. No, but I'm just there's been some guys.
But there
in the
is
league
one
that
white guy on the team.
Troubled whites.
He has a southern accent or a something accent, Ohio or something. I looked him up because I was like, who is this fun character? He was like walking through the spa having a real fun voice.
Nice.
He's a white man.
White man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's my bad day at work. Every day's a bad day at work. Some are worse than others. Actually, another fun thing happened. We have this there's a comedian whose parents live at the hotel, and their dad today like dropped his shirt in the reception area, and then someone picked a server who just happened to be walking through was like, oh, a shirt. And then later on, like a couple minutes later, her dad came back and he's like, oh my, and we're like, your shirt. And he's like, oh, thanks, and like tossed us a $5. I'm like, that's fun.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, most people are horrible to us, so we called him. The server came back for something else, and we're like, we have something for you. And he's like, you guys are actually like, he's like, I can't believe you're actually giving this to me. And we're like, you picked it up, man. It's your $5. Yeah, and also there was like 4 of us working. We're like, we're not going to split $5 4 ways.
Yeah, fair
but
enough.
also, I'm like, you picked it up. But yeah, it was a comedian's father that tipped him.
Let's talk about the name of the podcast.
Oh yeah, we didn't say it yet. We renamed it again.
I think this is
as per tradition.
I think this one's gonna stick.
Yeah, we did rename it.
I already thought about a fun logo for us, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, it is called "If We're Still Talking."
Yeah, because we decided great name for a podcast. First of all, we talk, and if we're still talking, we'll keep doing it.
I don't know if you've noticed, we talk.
And if we're still talking, we'll keep doing it. Because a lot of my podcasts come to an end because we don't talk anymore. And I feel like our friendship... But also,
this is just what our entire friendship is based off of. Because every time we're making a plan more than, I would say, a month away, we'll be like, hey, do you want to do this thing? And then the other person goes, yeah, I guess if we're still talking. That's a catchphrase of ours.
Yeah, sometimes it's just a fun little joke, and sometimes it's a real thing.
Sometimes it is a real thing.
Because it
might be like it might be a non-comic event where you're like, oh, this looks interesting. Did you want to go to this? And you're like, oh, that's 3 months away. You fucking psycho.
Right.
Like, I guess if we're still talking.
The thing is, like, friendship with guys lasts a long time, but girl friendships, I just don't know. They're a little bit
intergender
friendship. They're dicey.
Tough to maintain.
Right.
Speaking of which, I had my friend come in from the States, and I was like so excited to hang out with him, and he was going to go to a show, and then he was going to crash at my place until his flight, and then he bailed, so that really hurt. So I guess we're not friends anymore. He's like engaged now. I think that's why he's being annoying.
Yeah, he won't come sleep in my bed because he's engaged. What a loser.
Well, he's like, I'll come if you stay up until I have to leave for my flight, which would have been like 3 a.m.
Why?
I was like, no, I'm going to work the next day.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I think because he was like, I didn't want to like sit around, I guess.
He didn't want to lie down?
Yeah. And I'm like, relax.
Oh, no sleeping. His girl's like, you can go hang out with her, but there's no sleeping allowed.
Probably. Which is like...
Not a bad rule.
I guess, but at the same time, it's like, okay, but I haven't seen you in forever, so like... It would just be nice to hang out and like catch up. And
yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I guess it didn't work out. It's like, well, it didn't work out because you didn't fucking put in any effort. Like I was so excited for him to come see a show and then to get to like go out for drinks after or something.
Yeah.
So but yeah, I guess it could be a sticky situation. Like if his girl's like, oh, you're just gonna go hang out with a girl alone. But it's like also an old friend, so fuck you.
It's a sticky one still.
I don't know, and maybe she didn't even say anything. Maybe he just decided this because he does that a lot too. Because whenever he has a girlfriend, he like pulls back a whole bunch, and then when he doesn't have a girlfriend, we're allowed to be friends again. And I'm like,
yeah, exactly.
Kill me.
Yeah. So, anyways, ladies, if you want to wife me up, just be okay with that.
Oh my God, no, they won't together. Be obviously. So.
Why? Because you. Why is that? Yeah. Because the fucking chemistry is palpable and they can feel it.
The chemistry is off the fucking charts.
No, some people they're like, you guys must be fucking, but some people are like, you guys are obviously not fucking. And either way, I'm just like, hey, will they, won't they? I'll leave it up to your imagination.
There's one person who definitely thinks we're fucking, and that is fellow comedian, love of my life, love her so much, Tamara Chevron.
Okay. Yeah, I seen you wrote her down in the topics.
You said you're like Tamara, and I was like, well, buddy.
I thought you were hosting at the comedy show over there.
This is why I called you last night, but you were out about town, and I was like, oh, fuck it, we'll just
okay, let's hear about it.
So she came through to my late comedy show last night.
And I was hosting a show with her on it before.
Mm-hmm. I didn't realize that, but okay. Yeah, I knew you were hosting. I didn't realize she was on it, but she came through drunk out of her mind. And she had a bottle of Bottega with her in a glass, and she started to like pour it for me. I'm like, chill, like right. I don't want this. And she was like, what? And I'm like, black people love Bottega, by the way. This is what I was trying to say at your party, but then I felt like I was racist because it was like all black guys drink Bottega. I'm like, everyone I know that loves Bottega is black. It's like the cheap Cristal, I think, because that's like if you have money and you're black, you drink Cristal. So, anyways, this is
a champagne.
Yeah, I'm like, this is not a racist observation. This is just my real life.
Me and my friends, like all parties before was Bambino.
That's a champagne?
Bambino, Spumante Bambino, yeah.
I don't know that one. Is it cheap?
Oh yeah.
So this is the middle class then. So that's why. So yeah.
My boys have elevated to the next level. Back when we were like house parties when we were younger was all Bambino. Now it's Bottega.
Middle class black people love Bottega. So anyways, and it's great. It's a good one too. Also, my mixed friend drinks it. So I think she counts as black.
Okay, anyways. Moving on.
And I'm a fan. And I was like, great choice, guys. So she walks in with Bottega. I'm like, what's up? And then she's like, having a great time. So funny. And then when she's leaving, she's like, Hannah, what happened between you and Jam? And I was like, what? And she's like, what happened? Tell me what happened. I was like, nothing happened. She goes, I was at both of your shows tonight. I saw both of your sets and I know something's up. And now I'm like, what the fuck?
What the hell? What the fuck?
I know. And then I'm like, what did I say? And I'm like looking, I'm like, so now I'm thinking about what I said. I'm like, well, how do you know that stuff's about Jam? Because of course I'm like saying a bunch of stuff. I go, how do you know that stuff's about Jam? And like, even if it was about Jam, like, why would that be bad stuff? And then I go, wait, what did Jam say about me? And she goes, exactly. And I'm like, what did he say? And she's like, I saw it all. And I don't know if she's just drunk.
I'm pretty sure she's just fucking with your head because first of all,
no, she was truly believing it.
No,
like,
hold on a second.
And then I'm like, ask him. She's like, so something did happen. I'm like, I don't know. You tell me.
Tamara was so late for the show that she didn't even see me do my fucking opening bit. Like, I hosted the show. I did 15 minutes off the top, but she wasn't there for that.
Oh my God. So what did she see? You did like the smallest bit of crowd work, and she's like, something happened between it and Jam.
I did crowd work in between.
Obviously, she was just drunk. I thought she heard your opening. If she just heard you doing like crowd work.
I probably told you
with me, it was like older stuff. Like I was doing crowd work with like Kenzie's dad because he was sitting in the front row. Yeah. So I was like doing it about like, because Kenzie had a joke about 69ing. So I was like, wow, you must be so, because he was sitting beside Kenzie's girlfriend. And his dad was in the front row. I was like, buddy, like, I was like, how are you feeling right now? I'm like, you're sitting beside the girl he's 69 with. So, like, I don't even know. Like, as far as, so yeah, I was just like doing some stuff with like.
I think she's just trying to lay a trap.
No, well, I think she also thinks she can like sniff something out. Like, she's like some detective. And I'm like, you're not.
Welcome back to If We're Still Talking. I hope you're still listening out there.
Aw.
Right?
That's cute.
I know. I think that's a fun little thing we can do too. But you know what else? Whenever I start a new podcast, and boy, I've started a lot, I always look up if the name's taken. If We're Still Talking has not been taken. You know what? The first thing that comes up though on my podcast up is another show called Let's Talk Purity, which I found. I'm like, this is definitely a more of a sign for us to do this name because I'm like, if they're gonna be right next to us in the charts, love that. Let's Talk Purity.
And then Let's Talk Impurity. Yeah, you have to keep it open, huh? Instead of like putting it down for 40 minutes after I open it for you.
I put it down for like 2 seconds. Okay, Let's Talk Purity. Here's a little description. What do you think Let's Talk Purity is about?
I think you told me.
Okay.
It's about God. It's a God podcast. 2 girls talking about purity.
No, a guy and a girl, and they're hugging in the picture. And it looks like they're
being pure friends, or it's talking about being pure before marriage.
Not even. This is the thing. They go beyond that. They're like, purity isn't just for single people. Yeah. Welcome to Let's Talk Purity podcast with Richard and Brittany. Purity isn't just for singles. It's for everyone. It's not just for the season of life. It's a lifestyle. Join our hosts as they redefine purity. We hope this is we hope you enjoy this powerful conversation. Now, I love that, even though I think it's stupid as fuck. But then I look at the first episode title name, not the first one, but the one that came up first is, I was a porn star. I was a drug addict, clinging to hope, living out Romans 8:28 amid chaos, difficulty, and bad decisions.
I love that. Living out Romans 8:28.
Do you know what Romans 8:28 is?
No, do you have it?
I got it. Yeah. I thought you might know because you're a real Bible thumper.
No, I don't know it off by heart. But I love that most people are like, for God so loved the world, like all the Bible verses that they're living are pure ones, and they're like, nah, I've been living war and sin, and I'm a real slut.
No, I was fucking sucking dick and doing drugs.
Living out Romans 8:28.
Clinging to hope, living out.
That would be funny if you see Romans 8:28 tattooed on someone instead of like John 3:16.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's and we know that all that happens to us is working for our good if we love God and are fitting into his plans.
What? How is that living out Romans 8:28 if she's being a bad girl?
We know all that happens to us is working for our good if we love God and are fitting into his plan. Sometimes you got to go through a little something to get there. You find God in the darkest place. Sometimes
like all the whores of Babylon were sucking dick and all the men were...
You think they're going to talk about that on Let's Talk Purity?
Well, I thought that would be... I thought if they're like, well, I was living out this Bible verse, that's what I thought. It would be like a funny, like
I was living out that one, but now I'm living out this one.
Yeah.
No, they were clinging to hope with that Bible verse. They're doing heroin. They just finished a 14-hour porn shoot where they had to get gangbanged by a countless men, and they can't count that high because they're high on drugs.
Yeah.
And they're clinging to hope, and all they can cling to is knowing that, and we know that all that happens to us is working for our good. So it's like, yeah, I took a bukkake today, but thank God, somehow this is fitting into God's plan.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. How do you figure it out?
I would say it was like everything you're doing is like reflecting back on you.
I'm rubber, you're glue. Everything you say sticks off me and bounces off me and hits you.
I would
spam call. Suspected spam call.
Rogers.
Should we answer it?
Yeah, go for it. Put it on speaker.
Hello? They hung up. They didn't want the smoke. They heard a strong male's voice.
Oh, yeah.
And they cowered in fear.
If I picked up, hi, they'd be like, whoa, hello, ma'am.
Let's sink our teeth into her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really care what that Bible verse means. But I thought it was going to be more fun. There's going to be like I was living out Romans 8:28, and it would be like, and all God's soldiers were sleeping with prostitutes and God smited them. Like I thought it was going to be like... Yeah.
Like your mom's like, we raised you to be a good Christian. You're like, I'm just living out Romans 8:28. That's good. That's fun.
Unfortunately, it's this boring shit. They're just talking about being pure like after you're married. So you can't have sex ever? Is that what they're saying?
We might have to tune in and find out, but...
I kind of want to now. They're just talking to like prostitutes and stuff.
The description is it's not just for singles. So it's like, yeah, if you've been put through the fucking ringer and had the ringer put through you, you might just want to take a little break from all that sex.
Is your ringer a bit sore?
Yeah. You had things put in your ringer. You had a ringer in your ringer.
Then you
and your ringer's still ringing.
You might want to join us. Okay. But so they're like, if you're married and you've been snorting coke off a hooker's ass, you might want to tune in.
Well, I hope to be right next to them in the charts.
Yeah.
All I can pray for is that when you look up if we're still talking, you see us and you see them. Mm-hmm. When you see us, you see them.
When you think of us, you think of them.
What do you think they are? I saw what they look like. What do you think they look like?
Oh, I would assume white.
Black man, white woman. Talking about purity. My ass. You know what God does want? Our friend the Bopper to be bopping up at every karaoke spot he can. We got a little karaoke update. Do you want to hear it?
I've been desperate.
So if you checked out our episode Friends with Benedicts before it was called If We're Still Talking, check out that story. It's near the end. It's hilarious. I hope Tracy's Place restaurant and karaoke is ready for the return of the Big Bopper. I was robbed in the 2016 World Karaoke Championships.
Robbed?
Yeah.
Robbed.
He was robbed.
He's not even good, which is, I've watched the videos now.
Please, Hamilton, come ride with me while I lean back and bust a move.
This is terrible. He's like living out his fantasy of being a black man, obviously, because all of the songs he chooses are sung by black people. And he doesn't do it well either. He's a fat old white man. And he's like, I was robbed. I'm like, no, you're currently robbing another race, actually. I'm like, you should. I'm just saying you should be thankful that you're not being canceled. No, obviously you can sing whatever music you want, but I don't think he has a leg to stand on with he was robbed.
I would love to see his 2016 set that
Where
he's so confident
so
in.
he
was in the World Karaoke Championships apparently.
World.
But maybe they just had that title
at Tracy's place,
which everyone knows is the hub of karaoke.
In Kitchener?
In Kitchener. No, Hamilton.
In Hamilton.
Yeah.
He represents everyone I know from Hamilton. Every male I know from Hamilton. You're just like, this is not it, man. Like
we should go do karaoke with him sometime though.
Yeah, I would love to. Oh my God. Can we? Just observe.
Can we? He advertises where he's gonna be. We can definitely. And
okay, let's do it. What day is he there on Fridays? You want to go over now?
We have to because we have to have a duet ready that's gonna steal the show.
Oh,
to the point where he's gonna.
I want him posting.
I want him to post about us the next day to be like, my new friends Hannah and Jam crushed it when they sang. Whatever.
Yeah.
It probably has to be something rap.
When you guys see the Bopper posting about us, you'll know what happened. So watch out for that.
Hell yeah.
What's our song gonna be?
I think we have to go something rap to hit him in his soul. Like it can be like with a girl singing too. Maybe Baby I Got Your Money, Old Dirty Bastard.
Mm-hmm. And he might be like, that's my song.
No. He doesn't have the pipes for that one.
Okay, fun. Yeah, I'm into it.
And then at the end we go.
But he's going back. He's going back to the place he swore you would never go.
No, this is a new place.
Oh, it's still a new place.
He's not going back to Sideline Sports.
What if Sidelines hosts the World Champs?
Ooh. That's like a fucking poetic journey when he like doesn't go back there for a year and then like the World Championships are there. Mm-hmm. He has to go back. He has to go, and there's gonna be he's gonna carry a lot of people are gonna be like, he's like, I'm not going. Mm-hmm. And his friends are like, you have to. This is the World Champs. We need you there. You practically host that place. That was your spot. And he's like, it's just gonna be there. It doesn't matter if she's gonna be there.
Oh, and then she turns up.
Yeah.
While
and then
he's singing.
For the first time ever, instead of doing a rap song, he does a love ballad. Wow. And they get back together. And me and you ordain their wedding. We've actually been talking about you on our podcast since episode 1.
Yeah. And it's not been good.
We're doing monthly updates on you.
I think you're a real psychopath. Anyways, can we marry you guys?
Can we marry you guys? Speaking of like small town people, Peterborough. I went to Peterborough recently. And when I told my cousin I was there.
Friend of Oshawa.
When I told my cousin that's married to a guy from Oshawa there, he said last time I was there, this girl tried to hop in the back of my truck. Mm-hmm. And
they'll do that.
So he drives over to the next plaza. She comes across, tries to get in again, and he's like, "What the fuck?" So goes in the store and he's like, "This is girl trying to get in my truck." And they're like, "Linda's out there again." Mm-hmm. Call the police. Linda. They come get her. They come wrangle her up. I'm like, oh, thank God you let me know. Next time I'm there, I'll be careful because I plan on going back. I had a lot of fun at the Peterborough show.
You're like, next time I go, I'll leave my back door open.
And then they said to me, she's dead now.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
How'd she die?
How long
in the wrong backseat.
Yeah. How long ago was this? But more than 6 months? Yeah, she's dead.
She was known in the community for she would get in your back seat and then she would make you pay her to leave. That was like her thing.
God.
Yeah. Fuck. She's like, I'm not getting out unless you give me $20.
What a living.
That's a way to haggle.
Way to make a living.
What a way to make a living.
He's like, and also I've got chlamydia.
People asking for things. Not homeless people, but in general. I'm making my New Year's resolution. One of them is to be better at saying no. Because I'm not good at saying no. I feel so bad when people ask me for something and I say no. So this New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, I got I would say conservatively 8. I don't think it hit double digits, but 8 people messaged me, Happy New Year's. Can I have this? Can you do this?
This is all comedy related.
All comedy. All comedians.
None of your real friends are going to do this.
The fucking vultures of comedy. Yeah.
And I thought it was so funny, though, because it's clearly their New Year's resolution to get on more shows.
Yeah. I hated that,
obvious.
Though. And
they're like, I'm going to message 10 producers a day. And you're like, fuck off.
Out of the 8, whatever. There's one that like I really like as a friend, and one that I'm like cool with, whatever. That I'm like that. I made myself a blanket statement. I'm not going to respond to any of them. But one of them,
you're like, my New Year's resolution is actually to give out less spots.
to say no to people.
Wild that we're bumping into each other like this. Yeah, it's funny that yours is. You're like, I didn't have a New Year's resolution until all of you harassed me with yours, and now I have to make one, and it's just to say no. Yeah,
and I did. Well, I didn't even say no. I just didn't respond. But one guy I did because I saw him last night, and I'm like, and it's the one that I like. I'm not going to say his name. But I messaged him after, and I'm like, buddy, you don't understand. I'm like, I felt bad to not respond to you because I actually do like you.
Yeah.
But 8 people messaged me, and I decided I'm not going to answer any of them. I'm like, to put Happy New Year's next to can I have this? It's just like what the fuck?
Yeah, that's gross.
I didn't like it. Anyway, so if you're watching this podcast, next New Year's, don't do that.
What bothers me too is like when I need something from someone that I haven't talked to in a while, I don't know how to do it. And it's always like something like I need a reference or this or that. And I've done it. I would prefer if someone just asked me for the thing. Like I hate that like nicety thing.
I know.
I hate it. But then when I do that, they're like, you can say, hi, how are you? Or like, I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. I'm like, so you want me to be fake? Like, I haven't been asking you how you're doing for like 6 months or 2 years or whatever.
Yeah.
So like, I'm like, I need this thing. I'm going to just ask you for it. You can say yes or no. But now I have to be like, hey, how are you? How are the kids? Oh, by the way, can I get this from you? Like, ugh.
Right.
I'm like, I'd rather, I think personally, I think it's like politer to just ask for the thing.
No, I agree. But there is people that do that too. That will respond by, oh, not going to ask me how I'm doing. Yeah. But it's like, I find that so fake, and I can't be fake.
Me too.
So that's why it's like one of the people that asked me, like I always give them spots anyways. So it's like, why do you even need to tie it into the Happy New Year's text? Like I didn't like that.
Just say Happy New Year.
Now one of the people that I didn't respond to messaged me a couple of days later, and he's like, because he asked for a spot on this show, and he's like, I live in the area, I can bring lots of people. Now I'm like, oh, so now you bring us on the table. So I say, hey, let me know which week you can bring lots of people. And then he's like, well. He's like, I'm like, and what's lots of people? I'm like, what's worst case scenario?
To comic 2.
I'm like, what's worst case scenario? And he said 1. And I'm like, then don't come. I'm like,
you're gonna bring one friend that's a fucking loser and won't laugh at anything anyway.
To give clarity,
it's not gonna pay for their ticket.
When I had an open mic, obviously I said everyone come through. I don't care who you are. You don't need to bring anyone, whatever. But recently, this show changed from an open mic to a book show. It's just it's only 4 people on a show, and it's pros. It's fucking, or at least people that are really good. And that's what the owner asked for, because he was not liking the open mic. He wasn't liking people that aren't that good. And that's not for me to decide. That's for him to decide. It's his business. So when this guy asked me, for me to say, okay, I'm like, I told him straight up. I'm like, the owner doesn't want me to make open mic anymore. He wants pro lineups. I'm like, but if you bring a lot of people. He's not going to give a fuck because money rules all. So what's a lot of people? What's the worst case scenario? 1 person. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, 1 person, yo.
What was his best case scenario?
I don't know.
You should have asked for that.
And then I'm like,
how many people do you know?
And then he's like,
3.
He's like, well, clarify what a lot is. And I'm like, at least
you clarify what a lot is. You're the one that fucking said it.
Right? That's what I'm like thinking too. I wanted to say that, but
I'm you both have to write what you think a lot is on a piece of paper and slide it across to each other.
And I look at 1 and he's like 5. Whoa! I don't know 5 people.
You be given the number 1.
It's 0 actually. It just says I open up the paper and it just says, "Do I count as 1?" Anyways, I said 5. And he's like, how much notice do you?
Like, what?
How much notice do I need to give you? I'm like,
buddy.
I'm like, just tell me when you can bring 5 people.
Oh, how about if you just show up with 5 people, I'll put you on. How about any day you show up with 5 people, I'll put you on, because I know it's never gonna happen. That's actually the safest bet. You should say that to him. Be like, if you show up with 4, go fuck yourself. If you show up with 5, any fucking Wednesday, I'll put you on, and you'll never hear from him again because he does not have 5 people that want to see him do comedy. I'll fill the room.
No, you know what he said?
I'll fill the room. What's the worst case
this is the funniest part.
1.
Wait. This is the best part. He's like, well, can you tell me a date? He's like, because I have some people that would like to come to a show soon, if you know what I mean. I said, no, I don't know what you mean. What do you mean?
What? They're planning a pretty big event. You're like, are they going to blow something up?
I'm like, just bring 5 people, yo.
It's got to happen soon because they're not going to be with us much longer, if you know what I mean.
It was the most weird, like, if you know.
I'm going to be murdering them soon, if you know what I mean. You're like, what the fuck?
They can only survive in my basement off the little water I gave them for so long. Can I bring them to a comedy show so I can let them out, please? Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Oh my God.
These women need to stretch their legs. Like, what? What's the worst case scenario? Well, I don't know. One of them's not looking too hot. She might die by next week. I think 2 of them are going to hang in there.
Oh my God. Yeah. So anyways, if you're going to ask me for something this year, just
don't be an idiot.
Don't ask me.
Yeah. Just be
I'm a naturally very giving person, and I do have trouble saying no to people.
It's insane, like the some of the people that have gotten spots from you that do not deserve it, just because you're like, okay, fine.
Yeah, I know.
For the most part, you are very good at creating a nice lineup, but occasionally someone will sneak in there that you're like, fine.
Yeah.
I'll put you on.
And then, so he wanted to come this week. At first, he's like, I can bring a lot of people. I'm like, what's the worst case scenario? He said 1. I'm like, just wait for a week where you can bring lots of people in. And then he's like, all right, I'll get back to you in a couple of weeks. I'm like, all right, cool.
Why did you even come at me now then? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
No, but people have done that before.
You're like, I can bring a lot of people. You're like, can you? He's like, I don't know.
I've had that game played on me before where a guy went, he's like, because I never gave him a spot because he wasn't funny. And then he's like, oh, I can bring people out. Can I get a spot? I'm like, we need audience. Sure, come out. Shows up with no one. I'm like, what the fuck, man? And then I'm like, once you're here, I'm not going to say don't. Yeah. I'm too nice. So
I know someone that does that too. That's like, I'll fill the room and then doesn't bring anyone or brings a person.
Yeah. It's a crazy little tactic.
Yeah. But like I like that's so, again, I'm sure all these people that we're talking about are white men, because that is such insane energy to just lie or just lie and be like, yeah, just so I can get a spot. Like, that's crazy to me. I would never.
The one that happened years ago was a brown man, but he has very white man energy.
Yeah.
But the one that happened recently is definitely white man.
The one I know is a white man. It's just like crazy to me to say that. Because I would know. I'm like, when people ask me to do a spot, I'm like, not only will I not bring someone, I don't even know if I'm going to do a good job. Like, I might have the worst. I'm like talking myself down. I'm like, are you really sure you want to give this to me? Whereas like a white man is the exact opposite. They're like, not only do I deserve this, I'm going to tell you a bunch of lies that I'm going to get caught in. And then I'm also going to be absolute dog shit on the mic. Like, it's just crazy. And then they're at the end of the day, they're like, good job, me. And they go home and they don't lose a wink of sleep. And I'll be like, I'll have a good set. And people will tell me after, great set, Hannah. And I'm like, I'm not sleeping tonight because how much I hate myself. Right. And I'll be like texting you at 3 a.m. I'm like, I'm a garbage comedian. I've let all of my friends down. I literally have said this stuff to you. Right. I'm like, I'm letting the community down. I'm like, I don't deserve these opportunities as a comedian.
Yeah.
And then people like this will be like, yeah, I really
oh my God,
I'm really proud of myself.
If you guys like us and you're up north, come check us out. We're going to be at Sudbury this Friday night, co-headlining. I
haven't been in Sudbury in a long time. What's in Sudbury?
I was there last summer.
The Nickel?
The Giant Nickel. And are we going to check it out?
Been years. Probably not.
But we should. Okay, so today, if you guys didn't notice, today was our first time doing a podcast sober, not drinking at all.
I have such a headache too. This whole time I'm like, I want to drink.
But Sudbury, is the one day this month.
We will be wasted.
We will be getting fucked up. So come say what up, buy us a drink.
We're doing dry January, but we're like, if we're going to be in Sudbury, we're going to be drinking.
Yeah, we don't want to.
We're like, what are we going to do? Look at the Nickel sober?
We don't want to insult the town people.
I know. They're like, you're sober? Like, you're doing comedy sober? Like, what? Why would you even come?
Oh, and by the way, Bopper, if you're listening, they have karaoke after the show. And we're going to do it. We can get our little practice run in there.
I didn't know this.
Oh, yeah.
Sick.
That's why we have to get fucked up. And we'll bring the recording equipment, too, because I feel like at the end of the night, if we have to record a drug podcast, it might be the best thing we ever done.
I'm going to go off. I'm already planning my song. I don't know what it's going to be, but I have to.
What kind of, when you do karaoke, do you have like a genre that you like to go for or what?
Songs I know. So it'll be like Taylor Swift.
Nice.
Yeah. You got to sing something you know.
Yeah. Are you gonna do the what's her latest hit that you turn up every time you hear?
Yeah, every time I'll be screaming out the windows. Hi.
I'm the problem. Yeah, you should definitely do that song.
Oh, and do all my actions.
Sometimes. Yeah, for sure. Okay, Sudbury. We're going to be at Little Montreal this Friday. Not only are we going to co-headline, we're also going to smash the karaoke.